Welcome back to another edition of Bold Blind Beauty on Air, the show that's clearing the air for more air, access, inclusion, and representation. My name is Stephanie McCoy, and with me are my co-hosts, Gabby Mendonça, Nazreen Buddha, and Sylvia Stinson Perez. So today we are so excited to introduce you to a returning guest. Patrick Long was featured in our Cain Enabled series back in the spring of this year. And now he's returning to join us on the podcast to talk more about InnoSearch AI. So Patrick, we are so happy to have you with us today. And we are so looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. So happy to be here, and thank you so much for the opportunity to share more about what we're doing at InnoSearch.
Thank you. Now, before we get into our conversation with you, I have a quick question for our Bold Blind Beauty on Air team. So, ladies, in your personal experience as blind or low vision shoppers, what's one change that would make shopping equitable, empowering, and enjoyable beyond simply being accessible? Can we start with Gabby?
Sure. For me, like you said, it goes beyond accessibility, but I think it would just be an easy platform. And I know that does tie into accessibility, but I think that even takes it a step further because as long as there's a user design friendly layout for the platform, that definitely adds to the experience. I'm sure we can all talk about how we've experienced inaccessible shopping platforms. I've experienced way too many of them. But yeah, I think just having access to something that is designed in a way that makes the experience less of a stressful thing and more exciting, as well as being able to get in contact with customer service for the platform if you needed to be able to do that. I think that would all add to making the shopping experience much more easy and fun overall.
Thank you for that, Gabby. Easy and exciting. That's two more E's that we can add. Okay. So, Sylvia, would you like to go next, please?
Sure. And I'm going to take a slightly different path than Gabby took. I've been shopping for a long time and I kind of love the in-person shopping experience, but I'm starting to like the online experience because it is getting better. But the thing I think that could make it better is AI. So vivid descriptions, but the ability for the AI to learn me. Like, what are my likes? What styles do I have? So, learning how to best accommodate me as a person who's blind in my shopping experience. So, I know that that's now getting closer to being possible, is that you can ask more questions. I use AI all the time, and I love more feature, even on Be My AI. Ask more, and you get so much more in depth. And so, being able to do that within the shopping experience and have it learn. Maybe I don't have to keep asking because eventually it's going to know, oh, that's Sylvia. She's going to ask what colors that comes in. She's going to want to know all the sizes. She's going to know how that fits, etc. So that's a little bit different than what Gabby said, but that to me would make it so pleasurable.
I agree with that.
Yeah, that's a really great take on that, Sylvia.
One more thing I just want to add. I agree because it's true. Sometimes I've bought things before thinking, oh my God, this is totally my vibe, totally my style. And then I felt the fabric and I'm like, no, never mind. I don't actually like how this feels for me. And so I think having that extensive detail of, hey, how does this feel? What's the textures? What's all those bits of information, regardless of what the piece of clothing is, I think that still comes into play.
And even if it's not clothes, like I was recently buying a backpack and I asked AI a zillion questions to get to what I wanted to know. So, yeah.
Those are really great answers. And I think today we're going to have a very interesting discussion with Patrick. So, with that, I would like to ask you, Sylvia, to ask the first question.
Okay. So Patrick, welcome again. In the previous interview with Bold Blind Beauty, you shared how InnoSearch AI addresses shopping barriers faced by blind and low vision consumers. What are the most important changes, updates, or community insights you've gained since that interview, especially with the launch of the Bold Blind Beauty accessible storefront?
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to share. We are always innovating and trying to learn on how we can make our AI smarter. InnoSearch at its core is all about making shopping easier, more exciting, more accessible, just making it such that anyone with blindness or low vision can experience the exact same shopping experience as a sighted person. So today, a lot of websites are built primarily for those who are sighted. There's a lot of image descriptions, but I think a lot of you, as you were talking about your shopping experience, it actually goes way beyond that, right? Everything you interact tends to be, like you said, pictorial, right? It's all picture based. And that's something we believe at InnoSearch we can change. And especially as we have more and more interactions on the platform, we can really use that to design an experience really geared towards the blind and low vision. So one example of this is we have a lot of people that like to buy appliances, right? Like a oven, for example, or a microwave. And typically it's not important for a sighted person to have tactile buttons, right? Buttons with actually like raised edges or indentations so that you can feel, right, which option you're choosing, right? But for somebody who's blind or low vision, that is incredibly important.
It
And
is.
yeah, absolutely. And over a lot of interactions, we can actually train our AI to respond in a certain way so that those characteristics are more highlighted towards you, right? Because ultimately, we want to create a personalized experience. And when you guys are talking about clothing, for example, how it feels is just so important, like the quality of the materials. And a lot of times, if something is made of cotton, right, that's great. But as you guys probably know, there's different levels of quality of cotton, right? And cotton a lot of times is just too general, right? And so we want to push our AI and train our AI so that it can give the exact descriptions that you're looking for when you're shopping, just more details and more into the details that matter, right? For, whatever experience that you're looking for. And I think we're doing that through lots of users as they interact, as they chat. We're learning to see what we can improve on. And I think we've been making a lot of improvements over the last couple of months. The second part of your question around the accessible storefront, that was born from actually a lot of requests from businesses and entrepreneurs that wanted exposure, right, for their items that they were selling. And the current options out there, like Shopify or WooCommerce, just really isn't accessible, right? From the setup to the payment collection to the order fulfillment, that whole process of running something online is just so challenging and inaccessible. So the accessible storefront was actually born from customer need, right? A lot of folks have reached out and wanted to sell on InnoSearch. So that's why we decided to open that part of the business up.
I'm looking forward to shopping now, using it. Because you just explained that it totally is going to be learning me as I use it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I
Gabby,
think
go ahead.
there's just so many needs, right, that
Mhm.
can be tailored, and that's the power of AI, right? And I think existing models out there, even stuff that OpenAI is putting out, they're still too general, and really they're more geared towards sighted people. So I think that can be InnoSearch's niche, right? Even going beyond shopping, a specialized AI with, data from blind and low vision shoppers, and down the road we'll probably expand to even other disabilities, right? To be truly that accessible layer that we strive to be in the coming years.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. So my question for you, Patrick, is this segment marks a new collaboration with Bold Blind Beauty. What have you learned about building meaningful partnerships with values-driven brands, and how does it influence platform design?
Yeah, so I would say, again, since the very beginning, right, InnoSearch was very much built alongside the community, and that's something that is core to our DNA. We will always continue to do that. We work very closely with the NFB nationally, as well as many NFB affiliates. In fact, I just came back from NFB State Convention in Florida, and next week I'll be going to the state conventions in Virginia and also Texas. So very much so working very closely with the community. Again, we did the Be My Eyes AMA earlier this morning, and now working more closely with you guys at Bold Blind Beauty. So, all these partnerships really has been core to the way our product has grown and developed over the past 2 years. You guys give such important feedback and comments so that we can continually iterate and make each version that we push out even better, right? There's actually tons of collaborations. You guys might have saw AppleViz recently. They're doing beta testing of co-browse, and already just working through a few versions with them before it goes live on their entire site. So without all these great partnerships, collaborations, the platform wouldn't be where it is today. And to be honest, I think we're still in the early days. I still think it can be way better. I'm glad that we have a lot of support and great users that enjoy the product, but to be honest, I think it can do even more. I think we're just at the beginning.
I love that because I think even though it is just at the beginning, I tested out last year for the first time ever, and it's so different from the other platforms that do exist. You mentioned OpenAI, and I've used ChatGPT a bunch, but I think what makes this so different is that you're not just catering to this community and potentially others, but I think it's giving people that option to know, like, hey, this exists and this is out there. And just with each and every advancement that you guys make, I think it's just going to continue to push that out further so that more people can really tune into what you guys are doing. So I think that's amazing.
It's increasing people's ability to independently shop, or not just shop for items, but for travel and all kinds of things in the future.
Yep.
That independence is key.
Exactly. And just recently, we were talking with some travel agencies based out of Australia, for example, and they're working on a sensory tourism experience, right, for people that want to explore Australia, right? And so there's so many things that we can do, so many avenues for us to take this product. I mean, right now we do e-commerce, flights, and obviously food and groceries, but I think the possibilities are endless, right? Because we've always been talking about the world is always becoming more and more digital, not less. I don't ever see it becoming less digital. We're not going back to paper and pencil anytime soon. So we got to make sure digital experiences are equal access and usable for all.
Shopping online for beauty products doesn't have to be a daunting task if you have the right tips to get you on your way. Here are 4 to get you started. Read product reviews extensively. This will let you know products' effectiveness and efficacies. Review ingredients for your specific skin type. Don't hesitate to join loyalty programs or use coupons. You might be able to get a free product or try something new. And 4, compare pricing across all platforms. You want to get the best deal for your buck. And that's your Bold Blind Beauty Byte.
InnoSearch has been shaped by continuous input from blind users. Can you share a specific feature or improvement that came directly from the Bold Blind Beauty community or similar feedback?
Yeah, absolutely. So one that comes to mind is voice capability. Right. So you guys are longtime InnoSearch supporters, so you probably know that the first version of InnoSearch didn't have any voice interaction at all. It was all keyboard based and, of course, screen reader friendly, but there was no phone line, right? No ability to interact using your voice. And yeah, a lot of users said, hey, it'd be great if you guys can allow us to talk to your system, right? It's great to use keyboard, but sometimes I don't know of a shortcut or something can be long and I can't find a particular button, right? And we also noticed everybody has different levels of competency with the screen reader, right?
Yes.
We talked with the JAWS team over at Vispro, and they told us actually 95% of screen reader users are beginner, right? They don't know all the complex moves. And so we thought, is there a way to democratize access, right? Even if somebody doesn't know something complicated and they don't have the time to take some, course on how to learn all the features, is there still a way to make it work? So that was how the voice command feature was born, right? Through lots of feedback from different community members, we decided, why not, if you happen to get stuck and you want to find something, why not just announce what you want? Because that's something most people can do, just verbalize it. And so Co-Browse has a voice feature now. It has voice commands. You can literally tell it what you want, and the AI will navigate our page and take you to the appropriate destination. On top of that, we also have our AI-powered phone line. So you can dial 1-855 shop GPT, and that corresponds to 1-855-746-7478. And through that phone line, again, you can use your voice commands, interact with our AI phone agent, and browse from over 1 billion products that we have in our catalog. So it will help you from the product discovery, learning about the products, adding to cart, and finally, when you're ready, the checkout and also the payment processing. It can handle all of that all through the phone line and through voice commands.
Patrick, this is Sylvia, and I'm just going to tell you that totally gives so many more people access. I've been teaching people who are blind for many years, of all ages, especially older people. And you literally have to make a decision, like, what apps am I going to teach a person? And as I get older, I'm like, oh, what apps could I learn? Because there's only so far you can go. So adding that capability for the voice and the phone really did open it up to such a larger audience of people who can benefit.
Yeah, I agree with 100% with what Sylvia said, because regardless of if it's someone that's a beginner screen reader user or someone that's been using screen readers for a long time, I still think that that gives you more of that ease to navigate this site. Because like I said before, regardless of what it is, on other shopping platforms or even looking at flights, it's really hard to be able to find the assistance that you need. And so you just feel like you're spending all this time trying to contact someone, and sometimes you do interact with AI or bots, and they aren't that helpful. And so I think adding this feature is not just going to help the people that are maybe beginning to use a screen reader, but it's going to help the people that are already pretty advanced with their screen readers to have this more at ease feeling when navigating the site, regardless of what they're looking for, whether it's travel or shopping or food and groceries. So I think that that is just an amazing added feature to that.
It's that
Yeah.
built-in ease, no frustration.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something simple about a phone line and a phone number that a lot of people like, especially I think the older generations, right? They grew up dialing and asking for help using that, and they much prefer that actually. When you go to a web page, you have to navigate through all the menus. Nowadays, they actually try to make it harder for you to
Yes.
reach customer service on purpose so they can save money.
Yep.
So yeah, we really want to lean harder into that. In fact, upcoming release of Co-Browse will allow people to dial to browse a web page. So any web page can have its own unique phone number, and you can call to it, and then co-browse will be on the other side to help you browse and access all the possible resources. And for example, let's say you wanted to fill out a form so you could attend a conference. Rather than going to the conference website, you can simply dial their number. AI will be there to greet you, and you can simply put in your information that way. So that's a new innovation that we're tinkering with right now. And we think, yeah, that could be huge because now you don't have to go to the website, right? If you want to access, say, Bold Blind Beauty resources, you can simply dial the AI-powered Bold Blind Beauty phone number and get all the resources there. And that can really open up the doors to people that just don't want to, browse the computer all the time.
Yeah. So you're building accessibility from the front end, from the ground up. But I'm sure you've had some back end challenges and wins. So what have been some of those challenges and wins that you've had in building this?
Yeah, so I would say it has been an iterative process. Our team, of course, moves very quickly, and sometimes things do break. And of course, our users will definitely let us know when things like that do happen. So the fast iterative cycle has been, I think, obviously more positive than not. We've always had a pretty good hit rate. Everything we release, people tend to like. But of course, at times, people give great suggestions and we fix. Just to give you guys an example, we were doing the hotkey Control-Shift/, and I think that coincides with another JAWS hotkey, either JAWS or NVDA that we weren't aware of. So our community let us know that the Control-Shift period would be a better one to choose. So things like that we run into from time to time, but I think with all technology startups, speed is the key and building for the user is also the key. So we have to move fast and sometimes break some things, but we're not afraid to fix it and make it better afterwards as well.
Yeah. Amazing. How do features like cashback rewards, voice command checkout, or simplify returns actually work for shoppers using assistive chat?
Yeah, so it works very simply as if you were shopping on Walmart or any other large big box retailer. Cashback is 1% on InnoSearch. So all purchases, whether it's e-commerce, whether it's flights or food and grocery delivery, you will get 1% a reward, and it will be in the form of InnoSearch credit, right? Just like your loyalty credit
Mhm.
card points or whatever, you just get,
Right.
Yeah,
you know,
that's awesome.
just a little bit back as a small thank you from our team so that your next purchase, you can enjoy a small discount. And over time, sometimes that does add up. So that's the cashback rewards. Our partnership with Be My Eyes, we do 2% if you shop through their portal, so slightly more. So for you guys that have Be My Eyes, you can take advantage of that. Voice command checkout basically allows you to use your voice to move through the checkout process. And so it can help with filling out forms, things that you don't want to type out. You can use your voice command using co-browse to navigate through that. The last part, simplified returns, basically you can think of that as accessible layer between you as the customer and the business. Basically, InnoSearch is that entity that sits between them, right?
Mhm.
So anytime you
Mhm.
want to return, you don't need to contact your local store. You simply message us at InnoSearch, support@innosearch.ai. We will then we'll find the contact first because sometimes it's sort of hidden. We'll find the contact for you. We'll make contact with the business. We'll ask them what is the process for the return, and then we will then relay all the appropriate information back to you so that you can process your return with the retailer. So we are that middleman, you can use that word, that sits between you as the buyer and the merchant. So we make it very easy. There's no back and forth, long phone calls. We have a dedicated customer service team that helps you through that process.
Patrick,
So
I have a friend who is a big InnoSearch AI shopper. and she praises y'all, and she does make returns. And she said before she would just be like, oh, I'll just keep it. It's just too much of a hassle. And now with InnoSearch, she's like, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really glad that we were able to help in that way. I mean, I know what it's like because I've experienced it myself. You know, it's so frustrating to have them hide the return button or like not pick up your call for 2 hours
Yeah.
or whatever it is. That's not how you're supposed to do business, I
Yeah.
feel. If you said you're willing to accept returns, you should just honor it or not have it at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's sort of the sad reality. But I'm very glad our team was able to help.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I realized that there was a second part to my question, and that was asking if you can walk us through real user journeys and any input that you've gotten because of this.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll walk you through one because it's been something a lot of people have used and really liked. So it's the flight booking process. I think the e-commerce shopping is pretty self-explanatory, but recently we've been getting a lot of flight bookings as well. I'm not sure if it's because of the holiday season or whatever, but basically we make it very easy for you to book domestic and international flights. I know how challenging it is to go to some airline websites. Some of them is just impossible. It's loaded with pop-ups and upsells. You just get lost in that. So we make it very easy for you to find your flight by simply typing in where you want to go from, where you're going to, the dates of travel, and we pull from all the major databases. So think Expedia, Kayak, Google Flights, all of them. We aggregate all the possible domestic and international carriers, and we give it to you in a nice grid. So you can navigate very easily through using your tab key, find the flights that you like, and after you select them, you can then request, if you need, of course, guide dog information or special needs. Once you get to the airport, you need special assistance, somebody to take you to the checkout counter or the gate. All of that you can directly input before you check out and pay for your flight. So this has been a big hit with our users because obviously at times it's, again, so difficult to get in touch with these airline companies and also the airports. So our team is able to provide that concierge service for you. If you request guide dog support, we will send you the forms and then pass that information on. It's completely end to end. We've done a lot of these flights now.
Can you use your mileage numbers?
Yeah, your numbers.
Yeah, we've been asked this a lot, and unfortunately, at this time, we can't offer you that because it's a third-party travel agent booking.
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
We do give you that 1%, and down the road, of course, we want to work with the airline companies. And so if there's a way for us to integrate more directly into their system, I'm hoping down the road as we scale up, get bigger, be even more well-known, we can plug directly into United, right? That would be the dream.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So maybe you guys could help with that.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, cruise lines, Patrick, cruise lines. You got to go with them too.
We're just throwing a bunch of things your way, you know?
Yeah, we're gonna get you doing a lot beyond Bold Blind Beauty. So the next question is, you've expanded beyond the USA into international with organizations like Be My Eyes and NFB as well. How have these partnerships changed your reach of services? Any lessons learned from rolling out internationally? Because things can be slightly different. Not that different in shopping, but they could be.
Yeah, I mean, I would say those partnerships, Be My Eyes and NFB, have been so instrumental. They have a long history of doing great work and great advocacy, and we are very proud to work with them in any capacity we can. So we're partnered with NFB nationally, and right now we're currently partnered with Be My Eyes to be their shopping partner for all the various services that we offer.
And that's international, correct? With Be My Eyes, that's international.
Yeah, so it's in the 4 countries
Mhm.
that we operate in, which is
Okay.
the US, the UK, Australia, and Canada. Yeah, all our services are available there. And we're obviously looking to expand to more countries. And of course, there's some technical integrations that have to be done. So our plate's pretty full at the moment, but we're definitely looking to push and get this out. There's been countless requests from people. Today, I got 2 people from France asking, people in
Mhm.
South Africa, people
Mhm.
in India, Vietnam. I mean, blindness is a global thing,
It
obviously.
is.
So, and I feel like in the United States, there's already a lot of regulations. So companies sort of have to do something. But yeah, globally, especially in like Southeast Asia or Africa, I mean, it's a lot different out there. So to the extent we can help, definitely. And I think we can, right down the road. I think we may try to find other organizations to team up with to make things easier. Maybe some nonprofits that may want to grant and support some of this work. So I
Mhm.
think absolutely, I think there's a lot of potential to roll out to way more countries.
Mhm.
It'll get there for sure.
Yeah. So going along with that, because your partnership with Be My Eyes and NFB, tell us a little bit more about your story behind the roundup to checkout and shopping credits for advocacy groups.
Yeah, the roundup to donate at checkout is a partnership with the NFB. Basically, every purchase on InnoSearch will have an option to round up to the nearest dollar. And that money goes directly to national and it goes to support a lot of the great advocacy efforts they're doing. They're a great organization. They've done a lot of great things. I think recently they won a landmark case against Walmart to make the kiosks more accessible. I think recently Target as well. So yeah, we're very proud to support and make those things happen.
So what's next for accessible e-commerce and InnoSearch? Are there emerging trends or new technologies on your roadmap for the next year?
Yeah, I would say again, like there's a lot of improvements that our customers have been telling us and a lot of opportunities as well. So we're iterating as fast as we can. Again, I mentioned this in a previous question, but voice, we want to lean more strongly into that. We really want to double down on co-browse as well. We want to be able to continue to provide InnoSearch e-commerce services for free for the blind and low vision, right? So that's another thing I hadn't mentioned in prior questions, but InnoSearch for the end consumer is 100% free, right? There's no subscription. The cost of each item is the same cost as if it was at the store. Same for the airline bookings. There's no markups on any of those flights. So we want to be able to continue to provide everything the way it is because I think it's a huge value add. And just because you're blind or low vision, you shouldn't pay more for the exact same thing that a sighted person would purchase. So to enable that, we're doubling down on working with business because similar model to Be My Eyes or all the other great companies out there to provide the free consumer service, they partner with business and the businesses, since they have much higher margin, are able to support that and make that happen. So we are doubling down on co-browse, which is our AI accessibility agent. We plan to make that significantly more robust, like I said, by adding more voice components. Another
Right.
thing would be the phone line for each website, so you can dial in and get access to the entire website. And I think there could be a lot of potential with it. We could even work with state and local governments to make sure their municipality services are accessible and usable. I think there could also be workplace tools built on top of co-browse because it basically can navigate and move around the screen for you. So why couldn't it help you fill out an Excel field, right? Or fill out a time card? I think there's just so much potential in this technology. We just have to get it in front of the right people. So with the speed of the way AI is moving as well, I think there's a lot more that we haven't discovered. So very excited for this upcoming year.
I love your innovation
Yeah,
and your just desire to make the world a better place for us. So thank
agreed.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
And so can you tell our listeners how to find InnoSearch AI and how to shop on it, and if there's any contact information that you have that you want to share?
Yeah, you can shop on InnoSearch anytime. We're open 24/7 at InnoSearch, INNO search, SEARCH.ai. Customer service team is available 24/7. So if they're not busy with somebody else, they'll probably respond within an hour or two. We also have the phone line. So if you don't want to navigate the website, you can also dial and chat with our AI, and you'll find it responds quite well. It definitely picks up every single word you say and can find any item you'd like on our catalog. So that number is 1-855 shop GPT, corresponds to 1-855-746-7478. Yeah, and if you have any business that you really enjoy, co-browse or the accessible storefront, we'd love to get you trying out those technologies as well. So just email us at support@innosearch.ai, and we're more than happy to assist.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to Bold Blind Beauty on Air today. We hope this episode has left you inspired and empowered. Remember, our journey continues beyond this podcast. Don't miss out on future episodes. Hit that subscribe button and stay up to date on all of our latest discussions. Also, join our vibrant community on Instagram for behind-the-scenes content, stories, and doses of motivation. Your support means the world to us as we strive to amplify the diverse voices and stories. Together, let's keep advocating for access, inclusion, and representation. Until next time, stay bold and beautiful.